Hello and welcome to all my Flosstube neighbors. I'm Chris and this is XrossStitch, and today is Tuesday, June the 18th, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 75, the StitchCon 2024 recap episode. I am so glad that you have taken time out of your day to spend some time with me. If you're a new viewer, welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross-stitching, but there's a lot more than just cross-stitching at XrossStitch. And if you are a returning neighbor, welcome back to the neighborhood. It's so good to see you again. Ignore those little floaty things flying through the air. I must have fuzz coming off my carpet or something, because in every video I see those things. Either that or they're little pixies flying through the air. Anyway, if you're a returning neighbor, welcome to the neighborhood. We are indeed a neighborhood here at XrossStitch, and I'm so glad to have you back. My friends, my extended family all over this country and the world. And I have, when I say extended family, coming to you the Tuesday after I have returned from StitchCon, I certainly mean that. I do have some cross-stitching today. I'm going to show you some things for sure, but the main bulk of today is going to be the StitchCon recap, which will come right after I show you the cross-stitching. What a weekend. What a weekend this was. It was my first StitchCon. It was my first ever retreat of any kind. Yes, that's right. I have never been to a stitching retreat, and I dived into the deep end of the pool with this one, let me tell you. But without further ado, let's get to some stitching so then I can quickly get to the recap. I've been gone for a little bit. I've been away for about a month or so, a little over a month actually, and I told you I was going to go on a hiatus because we have been working on some things around the house. We've been working on the garden. You know, when you live in New Hampshire, after you've been inside all winter, you kind of emerge like a bear coming out of a den. And that's what I have been doing. And I have missed you greatly. But before I went on my mini spring break, I showed you that I was almost finished with Satsuma Street's Calling Birds. This is one of my ornaments that I'm doing. This was the last ornament that I needed to do to catch up with her 12 Days of Christmas designs that she's doing. This coming year should be 5 golden rings. We'll see what happens. But I did indeed finish it since last we saw each other. I told you I'd have it finished, and sure enough, here it is. So cute. I love these ornaments from Satsuma Street. I am going to very quickly transition to Halloween ornaments now to work on my Halloween tree. But this one is just adorable. I love it, I love it, I love it. Those 4 red birds are just amazing. But I finished that up in no time. I had gotten almost all the way done, and I ran out of a color of DMC in the kit. For some reason, it's always been really good about providing enough floss, but I must have either lost a strand or something happened, and I ran out of a color, but I got it when I got home from StitchCon and finished this up yesterday, actually. It was driving me crazy all the time I was at StitchCon. I was like, I've got to finish that first thing when I get home, and I did. But that is Satsuma Street's Calling Birds. First and only finish of this week. I had 2 starts, and they were both started at StitchCon. As I mentioned, I've been busy, and I haven't really been doing a lot of stitching. You can always tell when I kind of disappear for a short amount of time that I'm not stitching, because it feels, you know, disingenuous to do a floss tube without some stitching, even though I've done that before and just talked, you know, because I can talk. But I haven't really been stitching a lot, but StitchCon, of course, jump-started my stitchy bug, I have to say, and I started 2 things. I took to work on this adorable vintage Mill Hill kit. Now, when I say vintage, I mean it. This is from 1998, and this is Wizard Boo. I wanted something for my first StitchCon that was contained and easy. I left the beads at home, perforated paper, easy to transport, all the floss was with it, and I started on this and worked on this the first couple of days. Of course, I got to StitchCon and everybody had all these amazing things, and I immediately had regret because I'm like, oh, I should have brought... Anyway, I'll talk about that later. But this is going to be so cute. I'm hoping to find a, and you're looking at what I've gotten done right now. I'm hoping to find some sort of 6x6 Halloween or autumnal frame to put this in. This obviously is from 1998. You can't get this anymore. One of our dear neighbors sent me a huge bag of vintage Mill Hill kits from her sister, I believe. She had an L&S, and they went out of business, but at some point, and I received this wonderful bag of Mill Hill kits. So you can't get the frame anymore, I'm sure, but there's probably something comparable out there I'm going to look for. But this is just adorable, and I can't wait. The photograph is deceiving. There's a lot of beads in this, and I can't wait to start those because I think it's half and half. I think it's half stitching, half beads. But that's Wizard Boo, a vintage Mill Hill kit. And you know I love my Mill Hill kits. And I'm excited to have this one done for Halloween decorating later this year. Wizard Boo, Mill Hill kit. I've already said that like 3 times, haven't I? Let's move on. While I was at StitchCon, I went to keepsakes, and I will talk more about that later, but I managed to pick up my market order. There are a few things in my market order that have not yet arrived because of some delays in shipping, not with keepsakes, but with the vendor that is providing them the materials. So I had just told the wonderful folks at Keepsakes to hang on to it. I wasn't in any hurry, but I did pick up while I was there what has arrived. And one of the things that has arrived was the Patriotic Quaker by Primrose Cottage, designed by Lindsay Way. I don't normally stitch a whole lot of patriotic things, and I figured it was time to do a little 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Flag Day sort of decorative thing. And I fell in love with this one. It's just so beautiful. I loved the colors. I loved the fabric. And when I saw this as a market release, I knew I had to have it. And I started it on the Saturday of StitchCon. And this is what I have gotten done. Not much, but it's delight to stitch. I'm stitching this with the beautiful, beautiful classic Colorworks Belsois silks. I found 3 that were comparable. These are not the called for fibers, but these are incredibly close and beautiful together. So I think it's going to be stunning. So I'm excited to work on that. Last night I was working on it, just stitching away and watching the latest episode of Star Wars Acolyte and realized that I had my Q-snap going up and down, looked up, did something, turned it, went back to stitching. And you know how with Quakers, you have to be sure what's up and what's down, what's top and what's bottom, because they're symmetrical and you can like stitch on you can turn it 45 degrees or 90 degrees. Needless to say, ribbit, 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 the frog visited me today, or rather last night, and I took it all out. I want to continue working on it, so I just plucked it all out immediately. Normally I put things I have to frog into the timeout mode, but I went ahead and did it last night and this morning, and I'm going to start stitching again today on it. So that is the beautiful Patriotic Quaker from Primrose Cottage, my second start at StitchCon. It's time for story time with Chris, and this story time is all things StitchCon, as I'm sure you would have expected. So, full disclosure, you know me, I am a weepy person. I'm very emotional, and sometimes I will just burst into tears. So, get your life vest ready. I was very apprehensive the week before going to StitchCon. I have always been very upfront with all of you that I suffer from anxiety and depression at times. It's been a lifelong journey for me, and I'm in a great place. Of course, I've gone to therapy throughout my life, and I've had some wonderful people help me work on my issues. I'm good, but from time to time, things creep up, and I was apprehensive for many reasons. So many things go into what's going on in our heads. I think I felt a little bit of imposter syndrome going because I hadn't posted a Flosstube video in a few weeks. I hadn't been stitching very much because I had been focused on other things and lost my stitchy bug. It was the first time going, a new experience. There are so many things that go into the alchemy of what we fear. And I was down. I was very, very down the week before and came so close to not going. I came very close to not going. And I don't know what made me turn the corner, but a few days before, the weekend prior, I suppose it was like Sunday before I was supposed to leave on Wednesday, I turned a corner. I said to myself, you need to do this to prove to yourself that you can do it. You need to do this because someone else who wanted to go didn't go, and you are occupying a spot, and you need to be true to your integrity and not go fill that spot that you have requested and reserved. And I wanted to prove to myself that I could. And wow, what I would have missed if I hadn't gone. You can, maybe I'm speaking a lot in hyperbole, but it was absolutely amazing. I don't have a lot of photographs. I don't have pictures. You can watch anyone else's recap and who have gone and taken a lot of photos of the wonderful annex where the trunk shows were, and you are going to see a lot of photos from the weekend. I don't have those. I have a few photos that were sent to me that I took with people. And if I took a photo with you over the weekend, please send it to me. In large part, I wanted to take it all in. I wanted to let it wash over me, and I wanted to experience it without worrying about content or anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all. But for me, this being the first time, I wanted to immerse myself in it. I didn't know what to expect. And now I do. And next year I'll go, fully prepared with everything, with table gifts and things to hand out and more stitching. And I cannot wait. I'm already looking forward to next year. But let me tell you about it. I got to meet some amazing people over the weekend. I got to meet some Flosstubers that that I fanned out over. I got to meet amazing viewers who are my neighbors who watch this channel, and that was so wonderful, and it was just amazing. It's amazing to finally put names to faces and hugs, and how to even begin to tell you. In the hotel, the night before StitchCon began, I met a dear lady named Mary, and Mary and I struck up a conversation, and we were very friendly conversation, and then went about our separate ways. The next morning, when I walked into the massive room in which all the tables are set up for the stitching, I kind of did a loop and wandered around and thought, okay, where am I going to light for this entire experience? And as I was walking through the tables, a woman named Angie came up to me, and she said, who was a friend of Mary's, right? Their whole group. Mary being the woman I met the night before. Angie said, do you want to sit with us? Come on and sit with us. And she grabbed my hand and she pulled me to the table. And that was the first of many, many blessings of the weekend, because I landed at the exact table where I needed to be. We had such a wonderful time. Angie is also a Flosstuber. She is, and I always say this, she is Bubme Stitches, Bubme Stitches. Please go check her out. We had the best time together. Angie and Mary and Terry and Katie and Nicole. Nicole being the Buckeye Stitcher and on the StitchCon planning staff, executing staff, amazing staff that makes this thing happen. And Katie is the Naptime Stitcher. She has an Etsy store and she's also on Instagram. We laughed. We laughed till we cried, and we cried a little too. And I just absolutely fell in love with those people, those women. We had so much fun. Just so much fun. I can't tell you how, I mean, we were a hoot and a holler. That was the first of many. It was an embarrassment of riches. I got to meet Christy and Callie, my amazing Alabama cousins, who are the Floss Bossing cousins, and their dear friend Holly, who is also from Northwest Alabama, where I was raised. And to say that, don't you choke up. It felt like I was visiting home when I was with them. It was great, and they're great. So much fun. And I got to I went to dinner with them one night, and with Christy and Callie and Holly's dear husband, and we had the best time, and it was just magnificent. Pam and Steph, I got to spend a lot of time with them too, and got to meet them, and man, everyone who puts this on, Barb, the owner of Keepsakes, Pam, Stephanie, who does, so many things, and she does them all incredibly well. And every single member of that StitchCon team, they have got something going there, and it's really wonderful. I met Brenda, Handwork Maniac, who I have watched since the very beginning of my Flosstube journey, who was just, and that's when I fangirled out. I was like, wow, lovely, incredibly lovely. I met Candace, another Flosstuber that I watch religiously. So dear. There are too many to name, and I don't want to name them all because I'm afraid I'm going to forget someone. It's the same with the people who brought me things, who specifically knew I was coming to Weekend Bee and brought me things that they had created. that touches me more than you could possibly know. And it was such a love bubble the whole weekend long. And it really rekindled my faith in kindness and humanity from start to finish. It was, I said to somebody at the end, and I don't, I don't say this lightly, it was a life-changing experience from my perspective on things. And I do know that I will never hesitate to go back. That fear is gone because it was just amazing. There are a lot of details about what occurred at this StitchCon with regard to raffles and auctions and the charitable drive that Barb selected for this particular StitchCon. I will tell you that it was to benefit the New Life Furniture Bank, which is a nonprofit which collects gently used furniture from people who have extra, and they provide that to people who are overcoming devastating circumstances in their life, such as homelessness or other life-changing experiences. That story is not mine to tell. The beautiful story of what happened at StitchCon Weekend B and A. So I'm going to let you go to Just Keep Stitching and let Pam and Steph and others fill you in on that. But let me just say that it was magnificent. And that night in that room, when that auction and when the raffle and the auction was going on, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. And it was an energy that I have felt before. It was, I just hadn't felt it in a long time. It was amazing. When 300 people are in a room, and it was just, and all happy and touched and working towards something, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So please, I'm sure that Pam and Steph are going to give you that recap soon. So watch them because it was wonderful. Again, I don't want to, it's not my story to tell. I was just a participant, a very willing and very happy participant. So, gosh, what else can I tell you? The annex was amazing. The trunk shows photography on the front of anything we stitch doesn't hold a candle to an actual model in person. I was just overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed. I wrote my dear friend Judy Whitman yesterday, and I gushed a little bit towards her, talking about how her trunk show was so beautiful. She had been at Weekend A, so I didn't get to meet her in person. I long for the day I get to meet Judy, but my gosh, is her stuff beautiful. Everybody's stuff is beautiful. But to see it in person is really such a treat. Keepsakes. I made the pilgrimage to Keepsakes. Angie and I drove over one day. Angie, who is Bummy Stitches. And we had a great time over there. That was overwhelming. The house is beautiful. And every single space is filled with models and charts and floss and fabric, and the staff there, Mary and Rose and everybody. It was just so fun and kind, and we even sang as I left. Which, if you know me well, you know I burst into song. But it was great. The weather was good. It was, I mean, I can go on and on and on and on. And I'm not gonna, because I've already been talking for a while and I don't want you to fall asleep over your stitching. But it was magnificent. It was just magnificent. To everyone that I met there, if we took a picture together, send it to me. If I saw so many beautiful pieces, and I begged some of you, please send me a photograph of that. I'm going to do it I'm going to feature it on my Neighbor's Corner segment. Please send me those. You know who you are. Those of you who made things for me and brought them to me specifically, you know who you are. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The lump. It's hard to talk past the lump sometimes. Christy and Callie and Holly, I love you, I love you, I love you. And Table 21, my heart split into 6 little pieces, and you each took a piece home with you. And I can't wait to see you all again. And it was just amazing. It was just amazing. We have an amazing community in this cross-stitch world. We really do. It is kind and it is generous. And it's not always perfect, but I think we are, there's something that comes from sitting with fabric and putting little X's in it with thread. And I don't know what it is, but I sure do love being a part of it. And I loved being a part of StitchCon 2024, Weekend B. And I will never forget it as long as I live. And I look forward to more. I look forward to more retreats. I look forward to more StitchCons. And I can't say enough good things about it. I can't say enough good things about it. Yep, there you go. If you can go, go. Sign up. You will be glad you did. We're going to have some giveaways this week. I want to start the giveaways off by issuing a public apology to Brenda J. I still have your denim project bag. and I am going to send it to you. I am sorry, but I will send it to you ASAP. And I mean it. I have just, again, I'm going to send it to you, I promise. But I won, or rather in the auction, I bid on and won a big bag of heart and hand charts. It was a huge stack of them, and I was like, oh, that's going to be great for giveaways. So I have come home with some of those, and I am ready to distribute them to you, my neighbors. So today we have 3 bundles, and each bundle has 3 small charts. These are all smalls for you. The first is going to be a holiday bundle, and you're going to look at it right now. The keyword for this is going to be holiday. You see there are 3 little charts. One is a Santa, one is more kind of a Valentine's Day. The other, those are all in some way related to holiday. And again, the key word for that is holiday. The second bundle is going to be what I'm calling the home bundle, H-O-M-E, home bundle. Those 3 in some way relate to your home or a house, the garden gate and the house itself. You see where I'm going with that. So the key word for that, again, is going to be home. And the last bundle is what I'm calling the seasons bundle. Flowers, springtime, autumn, all 3 of those indirectly or directly relate to the seasons. So there they are, the seasons bundle. Keyword, obviously, seasons. So if you would like to be considered to win one of those bundles, please include that keyword in your comment. You need to comment below. You don't have to work it into a sentence unless you just want to. You can put it at the end of your comment. But if you want that, please do comment. Please be 18 years of age or older so I can ask you for your address. I've forgotten the restrictions. 18 or, well, you know, don't mention the word prize in your comment. Like the video, be a subscriber to the channel. That helps. And I will get those out to you. We will announce those in my next video, which is either going to be next week or 2 weeks from now. But I am back because my next video is going to be the first episode of season 3. So yeah, comment, like, subscribe, and we'll give those away in my next video. So that's today's video. Again, if I met you this weekend and we took a photo together, please send it to me. If I asked you to take a photograph of your work so that I can include it in my Neighbor's Corner segment, please send that to me. If I hugged your neck, if I met you, if you left something at my table or made something for me specifically, I keep those things. I will treasure them. And Callie, my sweetheart Callie, sent me this Sweet Home Alabama, left this on my table, Floss Boss and Cousin Callie. I know it's backwards. I'm sorry. I still don't know how to flip this picture, but I just had this in my hand and I wanted to show you. Isn't that fun? It really matches this set, by the way. I should hang this up back there when I'm... Anyway, it was just, my heart is full with this community. My vim and vigor is back into stitching. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you for making XrossStitch happen. Because you were the ones that make it happen. I just sit here and talk. So until next time, take care, happy stitching, and bye-bye.